I'm not the typical man. I wanted to box since I was born. Hell nah, I didn't want to box at all. I was it was a little forced up on me, but man, like anything, you fall in love with the sport. And just everything. I tell everybody, you eventually have to like it, even a little bit. You have to like the runs, you have to like everything, the hard work, the taking punches, man, is a weird feeling. Like I tell people, man, boxers are crazy. I
Yeah.
tell people, boxers are crazy.
Same
To
thing with
have that
Sean said,
little,
right?
yeah. To have that little itch to get hit, that
Yeah.
little, to get tired and have somebody trying to break your head off, and you try, man, it's a weird feeling that only a certain amount, only fighters can describe that passion for the sport.
He is the former WBC, USABC light heavyweight champion.
Checkmate.
The former USBA light heavyweight champion.
Checkmate.
Final
And the
round.
former WBC Continental America's light heavyweight champion.
Checkmate.
Final
He
round.
is your host, Cedric Agnew.
Can I get the yeah?
What up, Sad?
Mikey, what's good? What's good, my boy?
Chilling.
Yeah, man. So you returning back? June 5th?
Yes, you're fit.
Okay. Can you tell us about any the guy that you fight?
I don't know much about him. Just know he's been probably about 2, 3 like good level fights, and they don't look like they went his way. But obviously he has the experience and he's been there. So I mean, these guys, they're a lot more like they don't have nothing to lose and a lot to gain off
Right.
of a fight like this. So those are the most dangerous fighters that there probably is.
Right.
What weight are you fighting at, Mikey?
Featherweight.
Featherweight?
Yes, 126. I feel comfortable there. I mean, obviously, as time goes by, your body gets older. It gets a little bit more difficult to make the weight, but still making it. I want to say comfortably, quote quote.
Yeah.
It's never easy to make weight, but I'm still drinking water the day before weigh-ins and eating a little fruit and stuff like that.
How does that work? Like I don't need you to tell me how much you're cutting, but like the cutting process, like the nutrition and all that. How does that go into like when you get a fight? How far out are you like working to cut the weight and all that?
I mean, I know everybody's different. I've heard fighters, they go, man, days before the weigh-ins without eating. I know fighters cut all their weight right before the weigh-in. Like I've heard up to 10 pounds before the weigh-in. So I guess everybody's different. Me personally, I do about 2, 3 weeks because I always like to eat good. I've always had the mentality that I'm like, man, I work too hard to be on a diet always. Right. So I like to eat good, but I do put in the work. But I want to say about 2, 3 weeks before the fight, I'll cut everything out. Like I have two little boys, man, so they're always snacking on cookies, Oreos, chips. So all that, man, it's hard to stay away from it. Pizza and all that. I let my kids enjoy themselves. So right now, 2, 3 weeks before, man, try to stay away from all that. They want chips, stay away from that. Soda, stay away from that. Just basically water and eating clean.
Right.
Grilled, nothing fried and stuff like that. So 2, 3 weeks, before eating cleaner, and right away I could tell that people already started telling me I look skinnier, I look fitter and stuff like that. Yeah, so that makes a difference for me. But like I said, everybody's just different.
Yeah. Cool.
So for the world, most of the hardcores know Miguel Flores, but to the casuals out there, because boxing is filled with majority casuals.
Yeah.
For the casuals who don't know Miguel Mikey Flores, introduce the casuals to who you are.
Man, I'm just a kid trying to follow a dream. Obviously, it's every fighter's to dream to win a world title. But this was actually my brother's dream. That's how I started boxing, because my older brother, my father started him, in boxing. So I was just that little kid running around at the gym, trying to, stay busy, not staying away. When we came from Mexico, we're originally from Mexico. We came over here. My dad's an old school dad. He's trying to keep us away from the street, trying to keep us away from any bad things in the street. So he put us in boxing. We actually tried soccer first. My brother tried soccer first. He didn't like it, so then he picked up on boxing, and that's when I started coming to the gym with them. Like I said, I wasn't even like trying to be a boxer already. I was like 5, 6 years old, just running around, following him to the gym. Eventually, my dad was like, hey, you're going to do the same thing. That's when I was like, hey, hold up. Like, I didn't really want to be a boxer. When I was a little kid, I was like, hey, hold up. I got dreams of my own.
Right.
But nah, with my pops, it wasn't like you don't have a, you met my dad before, like you don't have an option, bro. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You to do this, man. But I remember I had my first amateur fight when I was about 8 years old, and I remember, man, my brother, I had a big guidance because my brother was always there, like protecting me. I remember my brother would be like, "Hey, nah, it's just another sparring session, don't worry about it. There's gonna be a bunch of people there, but don't worry about it." So he always like, I was like, "Okay, it's cool, it's okay, it's okay." I had that. And he basically guided me, man, through all my career, and that's how I got started in boxing. I'm not the typical man. I wanted to box since I was born. Hell nah, I didn't want to box at all. It was a little forced up on me, but man, like anything, you fall in love with the sport, and just everything. I tell everybody, you eventually have to like it, even a little bit. You have to like the runs, you have to like everything, the hard work, the taking punches, man, is a weird feeling. Like I tell people, man, boxers are crazy. I tell people, boxers are crazy.
Same thing
To have
with
that
Johnson,
little,
right?
yeah, to have that little itch to get hit, that little, to get tired and have somebody trying to break your head off, and you try to, man, it's a weird feeling that only a certain amount, only fighters can describe that passion for the sport.
So going back to your brother, because you said your brother is what drove you to get into this game. What did your brother mean to you in this sport?
Obviously, man, he was my role model. I've had when they asked, man, if you had if tag team boxing was a thing, who would be your tag team partner? I like, man, my brother. Obviously, I was always my brother, and man, I could say my brother was one of the biggest talents in Houston. Obviously for certain reasons, he couldn't make the Olympic team, man, but he was that guy in the amateurs. I mean, like you say, you could ask anybody around that's a real hardcore boxing fan around the boxing, amateur boxing. My brother was that guy in the amateurs just because of his. He couldn't make it to the Olympics because of his immigration status, but he could have made it to the trials and all that. But he didn't, so he eventually turned pro. And like I said, I want to say I had a little advantage over people because I was already living the pro game,
Right.
through my brother. So my brother was fighting on big cards like top rank cards. When top rank was airing fights and stuff, my brother was fighting on those cards, and I would come along. So I kind of already peeped. I was maybe 12, 13 years old. I was already peeping, watching how the pro game. Okay, this is how weigh-ins go. This is how media goes and stuff like that. So those are already pretty cool. So once I got introduced into the boxing, I already kind of knew what to expect. So I don't want to say I know everything in boxing, but I know pretty much from the promotion, from the management to the boxing to the training, and all that was just I got introduced to my brother. He's the one that guided me through all that, and he was my comfort, all along.
Right. So you say Mexico. My wife's from the F. She's I guess it's Chilanga.
Chilanga. Yeah,
So
there you go.
where you from in Mexico,
I'm
man?
from Michoacán.
Michoacán?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's about usually when I go to Michoacán, I fly into the AFA, which is about 3 hours. This is about a 3 hour drive.
Right.
Yeah,
Man.
I end up going. I got family in Mexico City, so I go by at least once a year.
Oh, cool. So I just know our household is rooting for you because you know how Mexicans, I don't care who's fighting. If she sees them colors, my wife is oh, we're going for him.
We're going. Yeah. That's one thing about Mexicans, man. We follow even in soccer, man. Like our national soccer team's not the best, but shit, we're the type that be like, man, I'm never watching it again, and then they're gonna play next week. Oh, here we go. So with boxing is the same thing, and
For sure.
and we follow boxing hardcore. That's probably one of the main reasons my dad put us in boxing because my dad coming from Mexico and stuff, he was always, even to today, I think yesterday he was telling us how he was always getting in fights and stuff. So my dad always liked that confrontation. He was always getting in fights in Mexico. Street fights.
Right.
And obviously my dad was kind of like the dads that puts that dream on their kid. Like,
Right.
Now, well, my dad didn't support me, but I'm supporting you, so you got to do it. I'm like, man, why I got to do it? My dad's like, yeah, you should be appreciative that I'm supporting you and, I'm giving you this, all right, giving you this opportunity. So now I go back and I tell my dad these stories. Man, Dad, probably cussed you out a couple of times when I was a little kid because I didn't want to do it. I'm being honest. And he looked at me. I was like, nah, but I'll be down. Like, appreciate you, pops, for pushing me because obviously you gotta, we come into a generation where now kids growing up is different. Like, nah, don't treat your kid like that. But man, back then, parents didn't have no compassion for you, man. It was crazy. I'm like,
See, that's what I'm facing with. Like my daughter, she boxes, but like she hasn't been like doing it because it's like with me, I was too hard on her. She's like, "Oh no, you're too hard on me. I don't want to train with you."
Yeah.
And it's like, so I don't know the balance to be able to. It's like, do you push them? Do you not? So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and see me, I'm making that transition right now to from obviously I'm still an active professional fighter, but I'm training kids now.
Oh, okay.
So I have about 4 or 5 kids that I train. They're already competing in the amateur level. So
Okay.
obviously, I'm like, hey, we ain't cool. I'll tell them like me and you, little bud, we ain't cool. Once
Right.
you get to the gym, it's work time because I'm gonna
Most
treat you the way my pops treat. I'll be having them in the front running, and I'm like,
Right.
hey, you gotta run. I don't like running. Well, you better start liking it because hey,
Right.
and especially, I mean, in any sport, you gotta be taking it serious. But in boxing, it goes beyond that. 'Cause
Yeah.
as harsh as it sounds, it's kill or be killed.
Right.
I'm like, man. Some of them are 15, 16. I'm like, hey, these little 15, 16-year-olds, they ain't punching like little kids no more.
Right.
Man, I was like, you
Man
better
strength.
Yeah, you better train. You better get your ass in shape because
Right.
they're coming to hurt you.
For sure.
So, man, they be looking at me, and then sometimes people be like, man, you little asshole to them. I'm like, hey, it is what it. They don't like it. Push on down, man. Because I mean, shit. But once they get their hands raised, they'll look over at me like,
Yeah,
I'm like, all right,
that hard. That toughness and that hard work.
exactly.
Yeah.
So when my pops, he had no, like, I could tell you, like, one of the worst things, I used to hate my dad, we would leave the gym. This was when we were amateurs with my brother. We would leave the gym, it'd be like 7, 8 at night. He'll drop us off, like, off of 610. Boom, run home. It'll be like, now we go back and look at it, it's like a 4-mile run, which is, now I do a 4-mile run. But, I mean, at the time, I was like 12, 13 years old, man. I was like,
Wow.
sometimes it could be cold, it could be raining, it could be.
Right.
And my brother was 8 years older than me, so my brother could do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So man, so I
He
remember,
was struggling.
man, I be having those flashbacks. I be driving through those streets still. Sometimes drive through them, and I be having those. I remember I would tell my brother, man, let's walk. Pops left, let's walk, and my brother would be like, we walk, it's gonna take us like an hour to get home, so we might as well,
keep running.
might as well keep
Yeah.
running. So it was like that. So I'll have those flat. Man, my dad was hard. I was like, Dad, you weren't scared
Right.
somebody was gonna rob us. We were
Right.
2 little kids running home. That's how it was. We had to put in the work. You had to
Yeah.
do your road work. We had to. I remember my dad used to be honest. Like we'll be driving to the gym. Like, hey, start wrapping your hands.
Wow.
We had to wrap our hands on the way to the gym. Like once you get to the
Wow.
gym,
You're ready to go.
yeah,
There's
I be
getting-
telling my kids when they get here, they stress. They go to. I like, bro,
You should have been ready.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should have been ready.
Yeah.
Talking about you got to go to the restroom. Come on, man. Like it's work time. When you step through that top door, it's work time. Like
time to
that's
get
what
in.
it is.
Yeah.
They probably be calling me an asshole too, but I'm like, it is what it is.
Yeah. I guess that's how you could like weed the ones who are in it to be like gonna be in it, and the ones who are not really gonna weed them out.
Because now I'll see the ones that come in rap. They're like, okay, I'm like, all right,
Right.
He learned. He's listening. He's paying attention to the little things in this sport. Obviously, is what's
For
always
sure.
going to count.
For sure.
So in this sport, your dad won nothing like the he won nothing like the what's his name? Bill Haney's or nothing like that, huh?
Nah. My pops is just all work, and once you get, and it's like anybody. My whole team, Bobby, Aaron, Jack, Hollywood, it's always like, hey, when it's your time to shine, when it's time your time to step on those, bright lights, is you.
Right.
You get interviewed. You. If they ask us questions, all right, but they're not gonna jump in front of the camera. You have I'm not gonna say no names, but you have some trainers that'll be like, hey, this and that. Like,
Yeah.
man, like let
Right.
your fighter have the shine, because at the end
For
of
sure.
the day, and your fighter, if he's a good fighter, he's always gonna recognize the type of team. Man, I appreciate my pops,
Yeah,
my trainer, blah blah blah,
exactly.
because. Obviously, they let you have your shine when it's your time to have your shine. But,
Sure.
then you have those guys that want to
That
take
want-
the
they
shine
want
over
the
the
shine.
fight. Yeah.
They-
But, I mean,
Hunger for the shot.
yeah, there's different generations, obviously.
Yeah.
Times change. Obviously, fighters from today, I tell you can't compare them to the fighters from back in 15, 20 years. It's impossible. It's
Wonderful.
impossible to do it. Now you can say they're spoiled, but, still, you can't. We're always going to live with that. What if, like, how would the fighters from this generation done with the last? And you never know.
Right.
Never
Straight
know.
up.
We're never gonna know that. But
Exactly.
you know, some people are like, nah, the fighters from this generation wouldn't have hung. Which I like, and you don't know that, bro, because these fighters are really good too. They're talented,
Yeah.
but it just never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your father reminds me of the Mexican version of my father. I hated every single last moment my father used to train me. My father never held pads or nothing like that, but he'll take us running. It was me and my brother. He'll take us running, take us to the gym. Take us. My father made me spar at the age of 13. My father made me spar a 26-year-old Mexican. I'll never forget his name, Oscar Bravo. Caught me with a body shot, had me on the ground wincing like I'm 13. I'm 13.
But you were hitting like a 27
Hey,
year old.
I'm 13.
Yeah,
and my
yeah,
father,
nah.
get up. And after that, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, like, and Miguel was talking about the running. My father take us running. We're running around the track. It was just like this little dip off spot on the track though, where like we was only so tall. If you like duck down, he won't see you. We used to duck down right there and wait about 5 minutes. Like, man, he crazy. He crazy because he said, mind you, we'll get there 11 o'clock in the morning. His plans for us to leave ain't until 5 in the evening. Like, bro, man, he's trying to kill us out here, man. I'm like, no, man, no. But I understand what he was trying to do. But man, like, yeah. So I understand what Miguel dad was saying.
And even to today, my dad's still the same. It's crazy because obviously I'm 32, got kids of my own, and my dad still comes to the gym. Like he says, my dad don't hold mitts, nothing. He just talk and give you that look. That's enough for you to know. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I'm 32, 2 kids, got my own house and shit. I don't live with my parents no more. My dad still try to treat me. I'm like, bro, like that, you know, like that, man. I'm a grown ass man.
Straight up.
And especially like some of my kids are out like that. You can't talk to me in front of my kids like that. Like, wait for them. My little kids look at me like, you dad, grandpa just punked you. Like,
that's how it is.
Yeah.
I'm 44 and I go through it with my father. He's 73, so you know.
Yeah,
that's what like my brother told. It was like about maybe about 6-7 years back, maybe a little longer than that. My brother asked me, he was like, man, once you start by training with Pops, man, I think Pops want to start by training you. Like, nah. No, I know. You see how he used to talk to us? I can't imagine, like Miguel said, I can't imagine my dad talking to me. Like, bro, man, I'm grown now, man. You can't talk to me like that.
Exactly.
Like, no, you can't talk to me like that, man. We gonna be putting the gloves on then. Don't talk to me like that. I'm grown, man. You can give me some instructions, but don't talk to me like I'm your I'm your son. Like I'm your son, but I'm grown, Dad. But I got my own kids, man.
Them old, like our pops, that older generation, like I feel like when they become like entrenched in their ways, that's who they are, and they ain't getting out. They can't see the fact that it's son's a grown man. It's like that's still my son.
They got that old school mentality, and it goes back to training. Like obviously, you know, with Bobby, I have a great team. Edward Jackson, Aaron Navarro, and then you know, obviously as a fighter, you learn that, and you get old. So right now I'm 32. Cedric knows we ran together. Shit, we was hitting 6-minute miles, 6:30s.
Wow,
fast miles.
That's a fast mile.
We hitting hard work every day, pushing. 23, 24 years old, man. Next day you ready to go again. Now it's like, and my body ain't responding how I did it. But my pops is still like, you got to put in the work. I like, and then Aaron and Bobby are telling me like, hey, man, take a day off. My dad will be like, take a day off. You be like, go win. Yeah. So I'm like, well, my trainer said take a day off. And my dad will be like, you think the other fighters taking a day off? I'm like, Pops, come on. But then I'm like, man, I'm going to listen to my trainer. You know, as you learn that one day off, then you come back the next day, you feel good. You feel good, refreshed. So, but obviously, Pops doesn't understand that. He's all like, nah, put in the work. He's a lot about chopping wood. You know, now we got the machines that, you know, resemble all that.
Yeah.
Nah, my Pops can see me do all this. He'll be like, you gonna go chop wood later on? I'm like, I'll go later on.
In the Rocky movie.
Yeah, I won't pull up at his house. He'll be here next day. He'll be like, man, what's up? You ain't come? Like, man, I got caught up doing this. Man, that's how. But I ain't gotta love it because, like I said, that's what brought me to where you know, when I go back and look at everything, you know, I accomplished. Obviously, you know, only a certain amount get that world title recognition, but just, you know, overall fighting for the world title, beating in big arenas. man, I don't want to say that's an accomplishment itself, but that's all thanks to what my
Your
dad
father
pushed me
still,
through.
yeah,
You
for
know,
sure,
all
for
those
sure.
runs that he pushed me through, all that. My brother, you know, telling me all this, man, that's what really helped me get there. And like I said, I still tell my dad to this day, man, appreciate you, pops. You know,
Yeah.
we'll laugh now, you know, be like, but thanks for pushing me that way.
Yeah,
'Cause
that was the seed
that
that
was
was
yeah,
planted.
yeah,
For sure.
exactly, yeah,
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. So what's the plans after this next fight on June 5th?
Man, we're God willing, you know, like I said, we've put in the work. You know, we it's kind of weird that I want to say refresh my career at this point since I'm already, you know, obviously we know at 31, 32, your career is more downhill than uphill because obviously we know after 30, you know, you're in that peak and then you start.
You gotta be like Bernard Hopkins, man.
Yeah, but exactly. So now I'm trying to, you know, with Bobby, we talked it over. We had you know, some fights offered to us, big fights. Obviously, at the weight, we didn't like it, and just certain going to Australia again, and we're like, man, just keep doing things our way. You know, I have a big enough fan base where I can, you know, put asses and seats here in
Yeah.
Houston, and now we're like, man, let's keep doing things our way, pick our opponents, and build our way up to the rankings, and then just be patient. You know,
Right.
I know. If we obviously, if they call us with the right opportunity, you know, we got good connection with PBC, with Premier Boxing. My manager, Louis the Cubist, he'll call us from time to time with fights. So like, man, if he call us from, you know, for a one fight that we like at a weight that we like it, hey, let's jump
go.
on it. But for in the meanwhile, let's stay active. You know,
Sure.
but like I said, these are dangerous fights because never know, man. You don't want to be that guy that like, man, I shouldn't have took this fight, you know,
Hell
giving
no.
up. But obviously, we know we got to put in the work, and everything comes with risks.
Yeah.
So,
Most
you
def.
know, but I fought twice last year, one here, one in Mexico. Now this is the third fight. So we're trying to rack up a couple of wins, get back in the rankings, and like I said, just be patient and hope for a big fight. You know, to hopefully by this year, next year, a big fight will come. You know, one that's a title eliminator or even for a straight title shot. You know, at this point in my career, I've been in with some of the best: Abner Mares, Leo Santa Cruz, Sam Goodman. We went to Australia, fought Sam Goodman. He's like ranked like number one, number two right now in the WBA for the, you know, in the super bantamweight. So we're there. You know, we're
Okay.
there. We fought big names, and we just got to wait for the opportunity.
Where are you fighting on the card? Is it laid out? The fights, you know, first, second, third, fourth. Like, is that laid out
What do you mean?
on the 5th?
Oh, I'm the main event.
You the
Here.
main event?
Yeah, yeah, main
Aight,
event. Here,
true
here,
indeed,
here.
true
Main
indeed,
event, main
true
event.
indeed.
Yeah, we're defending a title that we won last year, WBC US title. So it's gonna
Oh,
move,
okay, cool.
move us
Hell
up in
yeah.
the rankings a little bit. Like I said, just be patient, man. This sometimes too, this sport you got to be real patient. I know fighters get you know, a little bit disappointed when a fight falls out or this and that, but as part of the game, you just got to be patient. Stay in the gym and stay grinding, and it's gonna come eventually. If you put in the work, it's gonna come.
Rewards come.
Guaranteed.
True indeed.
Just playing the waiting game. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all.
yeah. And like I said, it's a little weird because at this stage of my career, you're like, man, you playing the weighing game, but I'm like, man, I'm 32. Sometimes I do feel tired, but I'm like, I'm still pushing them 6-7 minute miles. I'm like, I'm still good.
Damn, bro.
I still feel good. I still like right now. I just came from running. We hit 6.5 miles. Man, I feel good. I'm like, rest
Wow.
up. Boom, back to it again. You know, I'm veteran in the sport now. You know, I know when I met Said, I was probably a little young boy.
Yeah.
Man, I was keeping on with him. I was telling you, we was running 6 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning. We was hitting.
Wow.
And now I'm that veteran, man.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm still keeping up with the young bucks.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm
there you
still
go.
beating them, man.
So
I'm like,
you
yeah.
good. There's
So
no
I'm still
this.
good.
There's still this.
Yeah, yes, there's still this.
Yeah,
still
for sure.
up, still on the
Hell
way
yeah.
up. So yep, that's
There
the way
you
we're
go.
doing it.
Yeah, I look forward to the fight, man, for sure.
Yeah,
Appreciate
we definitely gonna be there front and center. You know, maybe get some words with you after the fight.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Appreciate
But
you.
we definitely gonna be there. But if you can, just give the fans your social media handles to follow so they can look out for
Social
you.
media, L_Michoacáno #2. Just follow me on there, man, and follow the movement. I appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for having us on the show. This is obviously
definitely.
this is exposure for us, and appreciate you. And see y'all after June 5th.
Yeah, definitely. Thank
Bet.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you,
you.
man.
Do your thing.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you,
All right,
man.
bro.